Hello again, everybody. Welcome to week 4.
4.
Oh my goodness. Of
It
Advent.
flies. It
It
flies.
does fly. Week 4.
Yeah.
And this is, again, a reflection on the season where we've been spending a lot of time on traditions, a lot of them cultural traditions from our own backgrounds and the meaning of those things. But we also knew that traditions are not just habits. There's something with personal meaning. So we want to delve a little more into that because I think we get locked into thinking that traditions are unchangeable and that are sort of etched in stone or something.
Sometimes it certainly feels that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So today's reflection is brought to you by the letter T, traditions, and tree. Because trees are one of the central symbols known worldwide for a particular day in a particular season, in a particular faith. But they go back a long way. They did come to this country from Germany with all its little lights and all those Lutherans, good Martin Luther.
Although maybe you don't know that in the 1500s, the first decorated Christmas tree in a public space was in Riga, Latvia.
No.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I was going to say that everything goes back further, much further than that anyway, because the symbolism of the evergreen tree and trees in general were sacred to ancient peoples, all over the world actually, but particularly I know Latvia has a history of that, and the Celts and the Druids have those histories too.
And I think that we experienced that ourselves. I mean, I know that that's how it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
When I have a tree in the house, when I have a live tree in the house, I'm thankful for it, and I want to care for it, and it brings me feeling that I am a part of the cycle of nature, the cycle of greenness and resurrection. So I think that's still true today.
Yeah.
That evokes all of that.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, and I said, I could be happy with just a tree with the lights on it, because those are the two key pieces of a tree for me, the greenery and the light, and those connect from ancient worlds of winter solstice. We've talked about that before, and the coming again of light and darkness, and the fact that evergreens were especially sacred because they did not die like the sun did, and they came back. But the trees in our family have evolved. The tradition around trees has not been etched in stone. When I grew up, we had big light bulbs on the tree. We never had candles because that was dangerous. And then when I first came to this country, we had colored lights on the trees. And then we had kids, and the ornaments, it became children's ornaments that they'd made in preschool or elementary school or whatever. And they were involved in the getting of the tree and the putting it up and the decorating it and the helping me to throw it out the window afterwards. And then later on that evolved again when it became clear they didn't care all that much about helping. They quite liked having a tree. So that tradition evolved into what was actually meaningful for the rest of the family. It didn't have to be any one way. So we had a time when there were nothing but penguins on the tree. And we had a time when there was nothing but glass blown balls on the tree. And we had a time when we had little origami birds on the tree. Whatever was particularly meaningful for somebody in the family at any given time. And I don't know. It just felt even when nobody was helping me, I had to decide whether I was going to even bother with a tree, because it was a lot of work. And decided eventually that the love that it evoked in me, doing it for the season, just was enough for me. I didn't care if nobody showed any interest, if nobody even noticed I put up. It didn't matter. So I hope that you've got some of your traditions change and evolve as they grow. And you had the same experience with growing up with different traditions from Latvia, and then shifting
that's
things.
right. But I'm in my own family. I guess I haven't ever really considered not having a tree. It's so much a part of the holiday celebration for me that I'm willing to work with whoever will help me in order to get that done. And I and if others are participating in my family, usually get a lot of joy out of opening the boxes of ornaments and remembering from whom a certain one was, or what we had experienced. For example, there was a period of years when my mom used to take each of the kids, usually one at a time, to see the Nutcracker. And there would usually be a Christmas ornament associated with that for each child. And so we have, a plethora of nutcrackers and ballerinas and all the different kinds of dancers and all that. And it's fun for them, and it's fun for me to see them on the tree and reminisce about that. And that's a tradition to put those things on the tree, but it's not really about the actual ornament for me or for them. It's more what it evokes. It's what's behind that thing, behind the tree or behind the ornament or behind the lights or behind, any part of it. Behind that you drink cocoa when you get your tree, or any of that just points to something more, something deeper, something intangible. I guess
we very rarely think about it. We just get in the habit of doing it this way, but not thinking about what it's really about.
Right, but do you know what I just thought when I said it points to something intangible? That means these things are sacraments.
Oh my gosh.
It means these things are sacraments. The tree or the ornament or the, whatever that actual physical thing is that points to something larger, that points to love.
Physical sign of an inward and spiritual
That's
grace.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I think.
Great question to think about. What do your traditions say about the inward grace of God? That's really a great question.
Yeah.
We were thinking earlier too about, there are lots of secular traditions at this time of year, and what has become meaningful for us is not to necessarily either buy into them, almost literally, or to change them if we've already done it, because they don't fit with what we believe the season to be about for us. And it might not be
the same thing for you, right? But it's a good thing to do, like a tradition audit, to see whether, whether all of the things that you have on your list that you really want or feel you need to do at this time of year, are those actually expressions of what you believe the season to be about, whatever that may be?
Right. Yeah. Thoughts to ponder.
Yeah.
Have you got a tradition that needs to be evolved, or needs to be tossed in the gentlest possible way?
Let go.
Allowed to leave. Or are there traditions that could be more meaningful if you thought more deeply about them?
Right.
We're moving into the week where the candle of love is lit. It's the fourth candle.
Do you want your sign?
Yeah, we want. Well, we could. Yeah.
We
Just show you. One of the traditions that I've developed here is to buy, usually at some cheap place, the word of the week for Advent, and I could never find a love that I liked, and so I ended up making it, and it's very tender because it keeps falling apart, and isn't that the truth?
Yes.
I mean, love is just the strongest thing in the world, like an evergreen tree. It keeps going. It's a sign of life, triumph over life over death. But it's also can be fragile, and we need to tend it. And that's the inner grace of this week. So blessings on your week as you go forward in love towards the holiday, and we will have one more for after Christmas,
Right.
Before we go into a new year.
Yes. Blessings on your week from me as well, and may you see the love around you.
Yeah.